In this video, we talk about indexes in more detail and from a practical point of view. First, we will quote an already existing 1-minute video. After that, we study the simplest ways to analyze the situation at the enterprise using the index method. And we do everything so that it is clear to a person without special education. Let's go. In a general sense, this concept can have several meanings. For example, index as an explanatory inscription. Labor productivity index. Or, index as a way of addressing a postal code. Or an index in a matrix, clearly showing the element we mean. This concept has other meanings. But we are interested in economics. When economists talk about index, they usually mean a numerical value that is obtained as a result of calculating a certain formula. Let's start with the simplest, consumer price index and labor productivity index. The base value is taken, or, as it were, a reference point. We select the base value as the reference point. Divide the current value by the base value. The result obtained allows us to compare was and became. Much like finding a percentage. And, there are complex and even very complex indices, the values of which are collected from several dozen indicators. But, the meaning of these calculations is the same. Compare with each other how it was and became. This greatly facilitates the understanding of complex economic processes. Let's see how this can be applied in practice. Case study: the gross profit of the enterprise decreased from $85 to $36. We start to understand why the difference was as much as $49. Let's determine the cause of the fall. Of course, let's start with sales. In April we sold 18 pieces at $10, in March we sold 17 pieces at $12. The difference was $24. Stop, but we are looking for $49. Let's take a look at the cost. Yes, our cost has gone up. Let's recalculate what it cost us: 8 times 18 and 7 times 17. The difference was plus $25. It seems that everything is clear, mathematics converges, life has become worse. And, most importantly, what do indexes have to do with it? And the point here is this: we are interested in what factors influence this and what is the role of each. Which problem to deal with in the first place. Therefore, at the first stage, first through indices, and then through percentages, we will express the role of each indicator. Not for memory, when calculating was, became, always in the numerator, the current value, and in the denominator, the base value. That is, for the sales volume, it will be 180 times 204. By analogy, we consider the quantitative change in sales, the price change in sales, the change in cost per unit, the total change in cost. Well, again, back to gross profit. The value is now normalized to 100%. That is, if we take a separate line, it is completely clear to us how seriously this or that indicator has changed. Actually, this is what indexes are for. But if we look at the table as a whole, somehow we have not increased clarity. Do you agree? The point is this: the factors of price, sales volume and cost act simultaneously, but to varying degrees. And what to do? The solution here is pretty simple. Imagine that you have a switchboard in front of you. And you need to understand which switch does what. What will you do? You will sequentially turn on and off each switch in turn. We will now do exactly the same thing. To begin with, let's take only two factors, price and sales volume. Let's ask the question, what would happen if only the price changed? That is, we leave all the indicators for March, and we already take a new price. And, oh miracle! Due to the fall in prices, our loss was $34, very clear. We are doing the same trick with the volume of sales. As you can see, the increase in sales gave us a plus of $12. Do you notice anything strange? If we add up the influence of each of the factors we have taken into account, the resulting value will not be equal to the drop in revenue at all. And it is extremely difficult for people with non-core education to realize this. But don't be afraid. The missing figure is the result of the joint influence of the changed indicators. And now, attention. At this point, you not only know what economic indicators are, you know how to find the indices of their change. But, and, most importantly, you just learned the simplest factor analysis. We continue. We just have to deal with the cost. It would seem that this is one factor. But no. We have changed the cost of not only the unit of products sold, but, as a result of a change in sales volume, the total amount of costs has also changed. Therefore, when calculating the influence of each factor, we act in exactly the same way. We consider the impact of changes in cost. Consider the impact of changes in sales volume. Well, here, without the combined influence of factors, it was not done. Let's look at the final table. We have decomposed the influence of each factor in relative value and in absolute value. Now, you can clearly see which factor and how much influenced the change in the situation. And the manager, or owner, is absolutely clear what to do in the first place. That, in fact, is the main point of factor analysis. Now you know it, you know how. With what I congratulate you. Subscribe, like, watch the new video.